I see that we have some people in the chat. I finally have went live. It's been a little while. I got caught up with something. Chuck says, I'm here. We can start. Jeopardy theme song here. And then there's Sandy from Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. Howdy. Looks like we have one person who's still in the chat. We're still watching live. We got 4 thumbs ups, and we went through YouTube. Hey, there's Andale Homestead. Hi, Andale. I was able to catch just a moment of your live stream today for Tuesday. I was glad I was able to join in. I wasn't able to make Chuck's. Hey, there's Tiny Tim Posey. Howdy, Tiny Tim. Rebecca, howdy. Nick, great to see your friend and all the people in the chat. Yeah, we are here. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. This was spontaneous, and I actually got caught up with some work. Hey there, Nikki at Blue Farm. What's up with you? So we went live through the YouTube app on my phone today. Today's been a wild and crazy day. I got up at 4 a.m. and took my mom and my dad to Phoenix to get my mom some new lenses. She got cataract surgery. Nikki's just hanging out with her kid. All right, excellent. Well, today's been wild because of that. I got some work done on the way. My mom drove her vehicle down to Phoenix while I worked, and then we went down there. That was her second cataract surgery. Her first one was 2 weeks ago. I put up a video about a coyote in the middle of the day and running through Phoenix, through Sun City actually, and which is kind of the outskirts of Phoenix on the west side. And what was crazy was that so 2 weeks ago, that coyote was running across this recreation center parking lot across the street from us. And I haven't seen a coyote in the city in the middle of the day in a long time. So, hey, there's Jesse. Nickety Nick. Yeah, I'm here. I'm live. And I'll still be going live on Thursday morning, Lord willing. But I just wanted to pop in and say hello. I was missing all my friends today, and I'm going out for a ride with the Pedal Ministry crew. Hey there, Camp Silky. Hey, Prepper Book Club. Yeah, there's a lot of coyotes. There's not as many up here in Prescott, or at least I don't see as many as I have in San Diego, or as many as people see down in the Phoenix area. So I don't know if that's kind of the area where they like to be. Hey there, Janet. Homestead where you are. I love. Hey there, Carol. Love from Michigan. Oh, Nikki's gonna be down in Phoenix. Nice. All right. Um, so Janet, I love Janet's channel name, Homestead Where You Are. That's kind of how we feel, is that we're trying to homestead the best we can. Hey, Copycat, looks like this is a good time for doing a live stream. People are available. I'm not usually available at this time, but I just wanted to connect with my friends and say hello. But Audacity Dawning, hello. Hello to you. Thanks for joining us. Homestead Where You Are. That is the theme of the week for us. We are homesteading on less than a half an acre, which is part of our dream. Yeah, there you go. Jesse put up the link to Janet's channel. Thank you, Jesse, the mod father. So good at what you do, Jesse. Appreciate you, brother. But being on less than a half an acre has been a dream of ours. In San Diego, we lived on a postage stamp. I think it's 7,000 square feet of land is what we had. Hey, there's Gwen, Burl Cowgirl. Hey, there's Backlash Fisherman too. Howdy. Just heading outside, but still hot and didn't want to yet when the little bell went off. All right. Well, I'm glad you're getting the notifications. Yeah, Yeah, in San Diego, we had a small garden, and it was a nice little yard for us. But hey, DJ Play Nice, thanks for joining us. How's it? Um, and Backlash is using the weather command. You guys can do that. You can also type in AZ, and Nightbot will drop your channel link. See, Roadrunners too. Yeah, Roadrunners. Um, the what was I saying about all that? So we lost. It's kind of a long story about our life, but we lost our house in the recession. We bought our house in February of 2007. Somehow we qualified for a $400,000 house that was built in 1949 with the 8,000 square foot backyard, and we lost that place in 2011, I guess. And anyway, we lived in a rental property and had a little garden there and an orange tree, and we loved every bit of it. But we had always dreamed. In fact, that house was where I actually became. Oh yeah, thanks, Sandale. Yeah, that was our first house, and this is our second house that we're in here now. This is a dream of ours. It's been a dream for a long time now. And we bought this place in 2019, October of 2019, and it's more square footage and a bigger yard and more bedrooms than and bathrooms than we had in our first house, and our dream. So back then, I actually became a ovipescatarian. No, it's not a religion. Ovipescatarian is somebody who eats, or it's a lacto ovipescatarian or something like that. Somebody who eats. Hey, Danny Days, what's up? I'm glad I caught your live as well as Andale's for just a moment today while I was waiting for my mom to get out of surgery. And thanks everybody for praying for my mom. She's doing good so far, but we'll find out more tomorrow. But lacto ovipescatarian was my diet for hey, Woman Outdoors, thanks for joining us, for 7 years, I think. So meant I dairy, eggs, and fish, and no other meat for 7 years, 8 years. The reason I did that was because I had a scare with foodborne illness. My father-in-law had made a very tender, pinkish chicken, and it was really good, but it was very tender, and I kind of wondered why I was eating it. I wonder if this piece is raw here. Who cares? I've never gotten sick off chicken before. But I got very sick that night. I won't get into the details, but I was in the bathroom for a long time, in and out of the shower. We'll just leave it at that. And during that moment, in that small 950 square foot house that we paid $400,000 for and couldn't pay our adjustable rate mortgage come 2011, we spent 10 grand of our savings on trying to do the right thing and paying that loan. But it was obvious to us that we weren't ever going to be able to make the payment, and we had to walk away. No, not in that shower. I don't think. No, it was in our second, after moving from there, in our second place we were renting. Is that right? No, it must have been there. Yeah, it was in that small house. It was in our first house. I decided, I don't know who raised this chicken. I don't know who butchered it. I don't know what kind of life it lived. And my father-in-law, who I trust very much, was the one who cooked it. A lot of times I don't know that last one. I don't know who cooked it. I go to a restaurant or whatever, or to Costco rotisserie chicken or whatever I got, right? I've got some chicken or beef or pork or lamb or whatever. I don't know who cooked it a lot of the time. I didn't cook it, or Danielle, my wife, didn't cook it. And I just kind of had this foodborne illness kind of freak out, if you will. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to eat chicken ever again. And then I thought, well, beef, I guess I could get mad cow disease from it possibly. And we don't eat that much beef anyway. We're not that rich. And I love a good steak though. So one was kind of hard. But I said, I could probably do without that. And I thought pork, they're close to, hey, Bold Lion, welcome in. I thought pork, that's real close to, people can get swine flu and all this stuff. I thought, nah, I'm just done with all of them. So I said, but I can do sushi. I can eat sushi. Hey there, chef. Glad you made it in. But I couldn't do without eggs or dairy either. Those were just part of the diet all the time. So anyway, 7 years had passed since that moment before I ate meat again. But I told myself during that time, if you eat chicken, pork, beef, lamb, whatever, do it if it's something that you grew yourself and who grew it, and you're able to see where that animal lived and how it was butchered, all of it, or go and hunt it yourself. I remember telling myself that, and I told my wife, and I told my in-laws and my parents and my sister, and they all knew for 7 years I didn't eat any of that kind of meat. And so it's kind of weird. But here in this house, this is where it happened. And we won't always be here, but this is where it happened. This is where we raised our own meat from hatch to harvest. We hatched out our quail 8 weeks ago. And yesterday we ate 3. And it was good. It was really good. I'll tell you what, all 4 of us in our family thoroughly enjoyed the taste and flavor of that quail meat. We're living the dream, y'all, on this small homestead that we have here, less than a half an acre. We're homesteading where we are, like Janet's channel name is. We can't have sheep here. We can't have pigs. I mean, we could. If we decided to do a 4-H thing, we could have whatever we want here. But our land wouldn't really support it the way that we would want. Carol, let me tell you, quail is amazing. At least when it's pretty much homegrown or wild. I haven't ever seen it in the store. I haven't ever had anybody offer it to me before. And y'all, it takes 8 weeks to grow out a quail from hatching it out of an egg to having it on your plate. 8 weeks. I mean, I'm just ecstatic because we can keep. I mean, we've got 20 quail in our garage in a small space, and I've got tons of bicycles, and I got a kayak and a whole bunch of woodworking stuff. And I'll tell you what, hey Jaws, Shannon, how you doing? Good to have you in here. Just talking about how we finally were able to eat some quail, and we weren't sure how they would taste. To be honest, we invested, and we weren't really sure if we would really be into it or if we would just get rid of them. Fortunately, they're some of the best meat that we have tasted. Definitely some of the best poultry. We couldn't really put our finger on what exactly the taste was like. However, I will say it's very similar to chicken. It wasn't as dark of meat as we thought. It looked dark, but it wasn't once we cooked it. It was like my oldest son Noah. He said the fibers are super fine and it's super tender. It's more juicy than chicken, and we just cooked it straight on the griddle. Just that was it, and we didn't really coat it with any kind of oils or anything. I just put it in kind of like balsamic and oil and some garlic powder and some salt. And that was it, and then we grilled it up. And on the skillet, and man, was it good! I'll tell you what. Sitting at the doctor's office while my husband has an echocardiogram and stream is buffering a ton, but listening best I can. Oh well, thanks for watching, Janet. Um, we took our son to the doctor today about his heart. So hey, what's up, Nick? Multi-hunter 24/7. Good to see you in here. And it looks like all is well with our son, so that's good. But yeah, we're talking about raising our own meat and what kind of dream that was for us, and still is. We are so excited, guys, so excited that we enjoy that quail. It tastes really good. We've been feeding them organic game bird feed, and then once they start laying eggs, we started feeding all of them, the males too. The just chicken layer feed, organic chicken layer feed that we have, and that meat is really good, and they are super easy to process. I thought it might be a little bit kind of taxing on me, dispatching a few of the animals that we raised up, but I mean, we knew from the time they hatched that they'd be on our plates, you know, and our boys did too. Our boys watched the dispatch, the cleaning, everything. And you know, I didn't videotape it, and I know I videotape it. I'm showing my age. I didn't get any video of the dispatch or the cleaning of the birds. Kind of torn about it a little bit, but stay tuned because I'll be talking all about it. Hey, Clarabelle and family, thanks for joining us. Just looking at the chat here, guys. Sorry if I missed anybody. It was really easy to dispatch them. Just took a pair of kitchen shears and the head went right off into a 5-gallon bucket. Super easy, super quick, very humane. And then you just skin the bird, or you cut the wings off, cut the feet off, skin the bird, and you can just pull the skin. It comes right off. And then I just cut out the backbone, cut down each side, and took out everything inside and washed it out. Boom, done. It was super, super easy. I know rabbits aren't very hard, but I don't know if there's an easier way to raise your own high quality meat. And you could do it in an apartment if you wanted to. Apartment with no balcony. I'll tell you, I mean, it's as easy as keeping some parrots or parakeets, to be honest. Super easy and super tasty. It's surreal, guys. I must say, it's pretty surreal being able to have our own meat that we're raising in such a short period of time. I still hard to believe, even with it on our plate. You know, it was hard to believe, but it's really good food, and the eggs that we get from those quail, we all like them better than chicken eggs. We really do. And we have our own chicken eggs, and they're high quality. They tasted way better than any chicken eggs we had before anywhere. And the quail eggs taste even better. So I don't know what to tell you guys. We quit rabbits because the heat, they can only breed for a couple of months out of the year. Oh, I didn't know that, Gwen. That's good to know. We'll see how the quail do in the heat, but you know, we've already had some 90-degree days here in the mountains of Arizona, and it was 40 degrees this morning, and it's up to 80 something this afternoon. So I don't know. Our garage is a little bit insulated, but not much. So um, it's it's gonna be interesting to see how it all works out. Um, I I would highly encourage you guys to start raising quail if you haven't already. Again, I don't know if there is a way to raise meat in a faster, more space efficient, and just straight easier way. I don't know. They're called Coturnix quail, Gwen. I I can't type in here. I don't know how to type in the chat on the mobile. I'm sorry, but it's Coturnix. It's spelled. See if I have a pen here. All my stuff's all messed up here. Hang on. I'll write it out, but it's just how it sounds. If you just search for Coturnix quail, you'll find it. See if you can see that. Is that backwards to you guys, or is it just backwards to me? Coturnix quail, Coturnix. Hey there, Mike. Thanks for joining. Thanks for checking out the bike channel as well. I don't know if many of you realize that there's a bike channel out there. I don't know what it's called, but something ride some. I don't know. There's some kind of mountain bike channel out there somewhere, but anyway, Mike told me he wasn't aware of that. Mr. MT Homestead Mike just found out about a cool mountain bike channel out there. But maybe I'll find out about it sometime because I really like mountain biking. Anyway, as a side note, that was a funny moment on Shane, great freelance farmer, on his live stream. But thanks for going and checking that channel out, Mike. I'm just joking, Andale. Yeah, I know the name. Anyway, that aside, yeah. So it's a pretty surreal moment for us over here on the homestead, and it's a small homestead that we have here, but we're raising our own meat, and we've raised our own vegetables for years, right? Or grown our own vegetables for years. Gwen says switch to raising meat chickens. Oh shoot, can't see it anymore. The mobile app is not the best. Let's see. I switched to raising meat chickens over rabbits because I can raise way more in a short period of time than the rabbits. Yeah, we have a friend in our mutual assistance group here in town that raises rabbits, and we gave him some. We didn't give him some. We sold him some chickens. I wanted to barter with him and trade him for some rabbits. But Danielle's not having it. She doesn't like the idea of eating rabbits, but she loves the idea of eating quail. So, yeah, 8 weeks, guys. 8 weeks from hatch to harvest is what it's been. It's just kind of unreal. I do all my lives on the phone and YouTube. It's a challenge. It is a challenge for sure. Hey, Squirrel. I think I saw you come in, but I didn't say hello, so I apologize for that. Yeah, the quail. So there's some issues with them, I must say. Some of them, and we'll be making videos of all this stuff. I've collected a lot of photos and a lot of video clips that I've kind of archived for now in a quail folder. That's about what it is for chickens, 8 weeks, give or take. We do ours depending on weight. Yeah, so um, we considered the chickens as well, and it's just different. There's different pros and cons. The quail becomes sexually mature in 8 weeks, though. So you can start breeding them and getting fertile eggs to raise your own quail off of those mature birds at 8 weeks. So ours, while we ate 3 of them, the reason we ate 3 of them was because there were some aggressive males. Yeah, I used a pair of kitchen shears, and that's it, Gwen. There's no other equipment needed besides a 5-gallon bucket to catch heads and feet and wings and skin and blood and the entrails we actually put into a separate bucket, and we boiled those and fed them to our dogs, who loved them. They may have loved that more than we loved the taste of the quail meat. We raised quail, and you're right, 8 weeks. They're very tasty. They are messy. Yep, they can be messy for sure. There's so much that we have learned in 8 weeks time, and pretty much all of it has been better than I thought. The messiness of the quail is not bad. They can be raised in such a small area, and actually if you give them more area, apparently they get more territorial and they'll beat each other up more. So hey, Devin, our new land, welcome in. And yeah, I still can't believe that we're raising our own meat in such a small space. Pretty awesome. We'd love to raise pasture raised chicken. You know, there's a lot of benefits to that, but we live on a hill, and it's a little bit challenging just to run our layers once a day on our land and our small chicken tractor that we have. But the quail are pretty easy, and we give them a ton of our cover crop, and they love it. They eat it. They eat it up real fast. They love clover. We've given them some other things too, like the what are they called? I guess they're just peas. There's some type of name to them, but they're peas, cover crop peas that grow, and they die off quicker than everything else. They like the cold, so they're all dying off now that it's getting warm. But yeah, the quail are great. We had 3 that we harvested. They're all males, and the reason was one of them was real beat up. His head was real beat up, and he was one of the ones that we helped hatch out. So when people say don't help the ones that need helping to hatch out, there's reason for that, and I agree with that for the most part. We thought, hey, that's one more quail that we can put on our plate, so we're going to help it out of the shell. It's obviously going to die here in just a little bit if we don't, so we did. It had some issues with its legs a little bit of splayed leg, which you could possibly help, but had curled feet and stuff, and we fixed that with masking tape top and bottom. Ark Wildman Survival, howdy. So that bird was raised up, but the males, let me tell you, one of the big things I'm going to be trying on the next batch is when the males start becoming sexually mature, and it's really obvious. Those of you who have raised quail, you know what I'm talking about. I won't go into it. For some people, it's just gross. But let's just say there's a visible sign that the males are mature. And it's also audible. You can hear them crowing, which doesn't sound like a rooster crow. It's a lot more quiet. But yeah, that's right. 1 male per 4 to 5 females. That's what you got to do as soon as they're sexually mature, or you got to isolate them as individuals, or at least in groups where they're not going to get beat up. So we got 1 male who was totally beat up, and he had a leg problem, and I think that's why. So there's a lot there. There's a lot to talk about there. Secondly, there was a male that was very aggressive, and he was mounting all the other males in the cage, and he was beating up on that one who, it was just bloody, guys. I mean, and this was only like maybe a day and a half, just getting bloody on his head, and that kind of stuff happens. So you gotta be ready for that kind of thing, and to cull, dispatch those males, get them taken out. If there's any aggression, that's one of the things that we're working on, is just eliminating aggression. But I think that you can eliminate it in a variety of different ways. So I'll be talking about that in future videos, like I talked about. Yeah, Gwen, it does. It happens with chickens too, and some of it's just a pecking order thing, but other parts of it are breeding things, maturity things, and there's things that you can do to slow down the maturity, like limiting light. So those will be other things that we experiment with and try and research and share with all you. But there is a whole lot to learn, and in 8 weeks, I can't believe how much we've learned. There are so there was another male who wasn't bloody yet, but he was missing a bunch of feathers. A lot of the males are missing a bunch of feathers on their heads. They were mounting each other, and they hold on with their beaks to the feathers, and the back of the head gets pretty bald on some of them. So you gotta know that going into it, and you gotta have a plan for how to isolate them. We have two now that are isolated. One's an aggressive male, one's one that was also beat up, but we dispatched the one really aggressive male. He was also very large, which is a bummer, because we're breeding not only for lack of aggression, but for size. And hey, Annette, good morning over there in Perth, Australia. Glad you could join us for a morning instead of a night. Just talking about the quail over here. We had our first harvest this weekend, and we cooked them yesterday, and they were great. They're really, really good. So it's we're living the dream. We are literally living the dream. But the the two males were beat up. There's one who was very aggressive. So those three were the ones that we ate, and they're great. We couldn't tell a difference between all of them. So that was good, except one of them was bigger. I guess that was it. But we weighed them all, put them into different breeding groups based on their weight and the priorities there. We also have a female that we had to isolate separately, and she was one of the bigger ones. She was one of the top three biggest females that we had out of the 21 birds that we raised. And she had sores on both of her feet, and we had to put blue coat on them when we weighed her and assessed her and decide which breeding group to put her in. But when we put her into a breeding group, right, she was just with all the females. So we had 9 females total. She had eight other females with her, and all of them looked great, had no signs of damage or anything on them, not like the males. And you can tell when they're sexually immature too, because guess what? They lay eggs. So you can tell the males will make a sound, the crowing, and then there's also the visual thing that you can see. But the females lay eggs. And so the females didn't beat each other up at all. But then when the female was put into thanks, Jesse. Thanks for that reminder for everybody. And go check that out at Creekside Maples. There's a giveaway for 2K. That's awesome. I'm not going to be able to make it there tonight. I have a pedal ministry ride. So, hey, I didn't see Zombie come in. Hey, Zombie. What's up, brother? Glad you're here. Just talking about them quail. How it's a dream come true for us. It literally is. It's a dream that we had probably a decade ago. Maybe a little bit more than a decade ago. Yeah, thanks for being here, Zombie. The female who had pecked feet, and we put blue coat on them. We put her in with the breeding group that we assigned her to. We found not the next day, but the day after, she was pecking around their beak, especially around the top of the beak. I'm pointing to my nose. I don't have a beak, but like a beak. It was the top, and the fleshy part there, and so we had two females and one male in there, and all three of them, besides her, were bleeding around. It's called the lores or lore around the beak, the fleshy part right around the beak. They're all bleeding from there, except her, and we watched her, and she was very quickly to each of them that she could get to, taking bites out of them a little bit, and they were bleeding, and she was looking like she had the taste of blood, and she wouldn't stop. So we have her isolated, but now her feet are bleeding again. We can see blood on the floor. So I think that she has some type of weird issue. So we're taste of blood or something. Hey, Aoki Homestead. Hey, Tasha. Good to see you guys in here. Thanks for joining us. It's just a quick pop-up live. It's kind of been a crazy day, and I don't have much time left. But I wanted to just go live and talk to the family. So we had to isolate her too. So there's some weird stuff that goes on that you got to figure out. We're probably going to have to put her in freezer camp as well, which isn't horrible, but we don't have that many females anyway. We were hoping to get half and half. We got 12 males and 9 females, so would have been nice if those were more females than males, but that's how it goes. So so yeah, we might just have 8 females, and we have to keep them together for at least a couple weeks before. Hey, Cody. Yeah, I understand about going to eat dinner. We just ate those quail, and man, were they good. But yeah, freezer camp. So it looks like we're going to have this other aggressive male. He's going to go to freezer camp. So is that female probably, before they can really breed, which is a bummer, because they got to be together for a couple weeks before we start gathering eggs. I mean, we could start gathering eggs right away, but the incubator, we want to fill it full of eggs that are more than likely going to be fertile, and we can't do that quite yet. It takes about 2 weeks until you get to that point where you should have about 80% fertility on those eggs if you have the right ratios of males and females. So we have 1 male to 3 females. That gives us 9. But now we have 1 female taken out, so we only have 8. So we have 1 breeding group of 2 females and 1 male. So hopefully those females don't get beat up too much, because there's 1 male for just 2 females. So it'd be nice if we had 4, but anyway, decisions that we've made, and we might have to adjust. Might have to put in more females with 1 male, and that's okay. So anyway, we're thinking about, hey, Hugo Homestead, I'm glad that you're here. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. The chat on live chat on the YouTube app, it is only there for a couple seconds, and then it fades away. So I'm gazing out the window, and it's a beautiful day here up at 5,500 feet in mountains of Arizona, where the cactus meet the pines. I just edited a video, by the way, of our May 2022 High Desert Homestead vegetable garden. You guys are gonna like it. It's a long video. There's some surprises in there though, and I ask you about them at the end. So stay tuned for that. nothing all that amazing and surprising, but some things that I didn't expect to see. So um, so yeah, the garden is doing really good, guys. It's amazing, and there's something that we're growing out there that I haven't even tasted before myself, but it's one of my favorite things now. So, uh, I'm really excited about our garden this year. We almost didn't plant it because we're looking for a new property with my parents, and guys, I my parents were out camping in their RV about 15 minutes from our house, actually, not very far, but in the national forest, and they asked for us to come over last night and just have some s'mores with them and stuff, and there's fire restrictions for any kind of natural fueled fires here, so you can't have any like charcoal or wood fires or any of that, but you can have propane. So they had their propane fire pit out there, and yeah, it is fun to look at property and deal. Um, it's cool to see what God's leading us to, and as we see more and more properties, we're realizing what what me and Danielle, my mom and my dad, are all really looking for, and it's great. It's going to be really really good. We've come close to finding the right one, but I know God has something planned for us. I can't wait to see what it is. But we went over there, and we had just eaten the quail for the first time, and I told them, hey, let's save some of the breast meat and one of the legs for my parents to try it. See what they think, because hey, if we're going to be living on the same property, we're going to be raising quail for meat. Wouldn't it be great if they enjoyed it as well? And how could they not? This tastes so good, man. They ate it all. They loved it. So really exciting that all six of us that will be living on the same property together really like this meat that we're raising at home. So, um, yeah, I hope your voice gets better, Bold Lion. I see these comments popping up, and Ann Dale had the honey and turmeric and onions. I forget what else was in it. Ann Dale. That's what we used when we were real sick at the end of the year, and yeah, had some positive tests, and we used that. Actually, we heard about it from Stephen and Casey over there at yeah. It wasn't a big meal, Ann. Three little quail, and the Stephen and Casey over there at Boots and Bounty Homestead told us about it, um, and sure enough, yeah, onions and honey don't sound too great, but it makes it like a liquidy kind of um, syrup, like cough syrup, and it doesn't taste too bad. Um, hey there, Glenn and Jessica, how you guys doing? Gathered together, Homestead. Glad that you made it in. Um, Yeah, Boots and Bounty are great. There's that's where you learned it too, and Dale, I didn't know that. I was only able to catch a little bit of your live stream today, but I did see that part, and yeah, it helps. It definitely helps. It's not bad at all. Yep, I agree, and Dale. Yeah, uh, yeah. Stop talking and singing. I know, two of your favorite things to do. Well, that honey onion syrup. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, it is better than NyQuil, that's for sure. That stuff tastes horrible. Um, yeah, three quail for six people was not a whole lot of food. And Danielle was kind of laughing, you know, hey, these are small. She made salmon Thai curry over rice last night too. So we had that as well. It wasn't like we went hungry, that's for sure. But we had the quail as a sampler, and it was really good. Hey y'all, I gotta get going. Um, I get to go and ride my bicycle with some other guys and fellowship with them and share some of God's truth with them and see how God speaks to us through his words in the Bible. And I'll tell you what, every time I meet up with these guys, he always teaches me something. It's really good. Sometimes hard for me to connect with other guys spiritually and sharpen each other like iron sharpens iron. But it's a little bit easier when we do something together. We build something or thanks, Carol. Appreciate that. Thank you, Hugo Homestead, Bold Lion, and Dale. Yeah, it's good to do something together, and it's good to have it weekly. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to talking to all of you on Thursday morning, 6 a.m. Pacific time, when we have our normal live stream where we connect and grow. And we have Nightbot drop our channel link, and Jesse, the mod father, of course, too. He's amazing at doing that. And welcome all of you to that on Thursday morning. But I'm going to have to go for now. It's a little bit bittersweet. I really missed you guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon. So hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday or Wednesday, as it might be in some parts of the world, I guess. But yeah, all right, Devin, Aroki Homestead, you guys have a good one, and I will see you in the next one. All right. Bye for now, everyone.